Hello and welcome to our video today, which is about the history of money. And it's in the form of a bedtime story. So don't go to sleep. Listen carefully and I will tell you a story. Once upon a time, many, many years ago, there was no money. People could only trade by exchanging things. I will give you 1 kilo of my beans if you give me 1 kilo of your tomatoes. Many years passed, and people became unhappy with this way of doing trade. It took a long time to get what you wanted, especially if your neighbors all grew the same things. Eventually, the king decided to invent money. He said, "Let's use gold for money." And everyone thought that was a really good idea. So when they went to the market, people took little bags of gold. When they wanted to buy something, the shopkeeper would get out his kilo machine and measure how much gold it would cost. Many years passed, and people became unhappy with this way of doing trade. I really wanted to buy some cloth from the weaver. It was beautiful pattern. But he didn't have a kilo machine to weigh my gold, so we couldn't trade. And then the king had an idea. We'll make the gold into little round shapes. They will all be the same size, so everyone knows how much gold is in them, and we won't need to use a kilo machine anymore. I'm going to call them coins. Coins are boring. They're all the same. Yes, they're all the same. Many years passed, and people became unhappy with this way of doing trade. People wanted to use these coins for lots of things. When you worked for someone, they used the coins to pay you. If you bought or sold something, you used the coins, and people bought and sold lots more stuff because it was so much easier than before. What happened if you wanted to visit another country? No problem. If Myanmar coins were the same size as Thai coins, you could swap one Myanmar coin for one Thai coin because the amount of gold was the same. If Vietnam coins were half as big as Thai coins, you had to swap two Vietnam coins for one Thai coin because that made the amount of gold the same. This way of making coins was called the gold standard. I had to give two Vietnam coins for one Thai. I wonder what the rate will be next week. Duh. If the coins stay the same size, the rate will never change. Soon, there weren't enough coins to go round. The problem was they couldn't make any more coins unless they got more gold. And the only way to get more gold was to find it in the ground and dig it out. There just wasn't enough gold to make as many coins as people wanted. And some people made the situation worse by hiding their coins so no one else could use them. I'm going to hide all my gold in that bamboo tree over there. Good idea. Let's hide as many coins as we can, and then no one can rob us. Then the king had an idea. I'm going to invent paper money, he said. Everyone thought it was a very funny idea. They laughed. Who would be dumb enough to sell something in exchange for a small piece of paper? No problem, said the king. We'll promise that people can swap the paper money for gold any time they want to. That way, the paper will be worth as much as gold. Hey, I like this new paper money. It's not as heavy to carry around as the old gold coins. Yeah, and anytime I want to, I can change it back to gold. Our king has a lot of good ideas. I'm confused. Yeah, me too. But don't tell the students. Your Majesty, said the princess, I may be confused, but I think there's a problem. What problem? Said the king. Well, if we have to have enough gold to swap all the paper money, we'll have the same old problem. We won't be able to print any more paper money because there's no more gold. That's why I'm the king and you're not, said the king. There's no way everyone will ask for their gold at the same time. If only 10 people out of 100 ask for their gold, that means we can print 100 paper notes when we only have enough gold for 10. Whoa, that's tricky stuff, boss. If a criminal did that, he'd be arrested. Yeah, but I'm the king, so everyone trusts me. That's like cheating everyone. Yeah, but I'm the king, so it's okay. And the king was right. Nobody ever asked for the gold. What was the point? The paper money was just as good. And things continued like this for hundreds of years. Nobody was unhappy about this way of doing business. But then came the hard times. 4 children for sale. Inquire within. There were no jobs. People couldn't get work, so no wages. How could they feed their families? They had to go to the jungle to find food. But that's not easy if you live in Bangkok. And then the king had an idea. We'll make some jobs. We'll have big projects like making dams, making good roads, and planting lots of trees. They will be good for the country, and lots of people will get a new job. Poor people protested against married women who had jobs. They said, if married women work, that means some families have 2 wages when other families have none. And that's not fair. They should give the married women's jobs to families where no one is working. Your Majesty, said the princess, I may be confused, but I think there's a problem. What problem? Said the king. We don't have any money to pay for the new projects. That's why I am the king and you are not, said the king. We'll stop letting people change paper money for gold, and then we can print as much money as we like to pay for the projects. Won't people have a problem with only getting a piece of paper when they sell something? They're used to paper now. They'll never notice the difference. And once again, the king was right. Now, you may not have noticed in my story, but a lot of time has passed. We're not many, many, many years ago anymore. Now we're only about 100 years ago. The king's ideas were starting to work and people were getting new jobs when something really important happened. A war started. All the men who couldn't get a job joined the army and got wages, and the hard times were gone. So here we have a picture of 2 soldiers, one from each side. One is saying, this time last year I didn't have a job. And the one from the other side is saying, me neither. Now, about this time, something important was happening. Countries didn't want kings anymore. Instead of kings, many countries had democracy. Now, there are many good things about democracy, but one of the bad things is that you have to have politicians. It didn't take politicians long to find out that they could promise anything to make people vote for them. To pay for it, they just had to print more money. Vote for me and I'll build you a hospital. Vote for me and I'll build you a hospital and a new road. Vote for me, I'll build you a hospital, a new road, and a school. In some countries, there was no democracy and no king. The army controlled the government. They liked this idea too. They could print money to spend on themselves, more guns and better cars for the army. And some of the money they just kept for themselves. I'm sure you don't know any countries like that. One for you, one for me. No, all for me. Sorry, no money left for schools and hospitals. I have a question. With paper money, what happens if you want to go to another country where the money is different? That's a very good question, but it's getting late now. That's the end of this story. You'll have to wait until the next video. And this is the end, my friend. See you next time.